I do a lot of searching for lingerie inspiration, and although there's different colors and fabrics, in general, it feels like all the sets are designed very similarly. There's always a plunge cup with tissue spilling out, a photoshopped waist, and an impossibly small thong. I'm not an expert in the area, but it does feel like these lingerie sets are designed for the male gaze and not to make women feel amazing and gorgeous while wearing the lingerie sets. I believe this is where the power of sewing comes into focus. There are so many unique patterns out there for bras, but especially underwear. Another advantage of sewing is that you have the power to change patterns to fit your size and style. For example, today I'm going to be altering a G-string pattern into bikini style underwear. I really like the lace and mesh elements of this pair of underwear, but will wear a bikini style way more than a G-string. So I used my underwear block to alter the style lines. However, if you don't have a block, you can just approximate the style lines you think you'd like. After I finished my style alterations, I could create new pattern pieces by adding seam allowances to the gusset and bikini style lines. I didn't bother using the provided lining piece and instead cut 2 pieces of the new gusset. This pair of underwear has so many pieces, but the directions are really well written, so it's a fairly easy pattern to follow even though it looks complicated. Instead of using stretch fabric for all the pieces, I chose a woven fabric on the center pattern piece, which should have its edges overcast to prevent fraying. The directions wanted the seam secured over the mesh, which I didn't like, so instead I pressed the seam and secured underneath the lace. That's really the beauty of sewing things yourself. You can make your own decisions, which sometimes works out and other times causes what I will refer to as a learning experience. In terms of materials, I have never made a pair of underwear with a mesh back before, and I thought the material would be a nightmare to work with, but it's honestly fine. It's cute without feeling so exposed, even though I am. Once I make it to the gusset, I always alter the directions because I hate when the lining fabric is not secured. I use the burrito method to sew 2 completely encased seams on the front and back of the gusset. It's sort of confusing to learn, but once you do it a few times, it's worth the extra step. Sewing the elastic is the last step for this pattern, and I had a breakthrough. I don't like having the edges exposed on the elastic, but I could not figure out how to hide them until I realized that I could pre-measure my elastic, fold the edges under, and sew a zigzag stitch to create a complete circle. Everyone has their own preference, but I made my total elastic circumference a 1/2 inch smaller than the leg circumference, and it felt really nice. You can then split your elastic into quarters and pin to the corresponding quarters of the underwear, or just go for it like I did. Once you make your first pair of underwear, it's hard to go back to mass-produced garments. So be aware, you will likely be rocking some unique pieces from here on out.